The first question, of course, about the voting numbers. Early voting, it's almost unprecedented. There is a trend that has been followed from 2020. There are almost 80 million people who've cast their vote. Do you think this is because of the trend that was set up in 2020? It was an outlier. It was COVID that the world was suffering from. And now people have just followed it up in 2024 as well.
Well, that's a good question. Thank you for having me. I really think it's both parties understand that voter turnout matters. When you don't turn up to vote, you're not going to win. And Republicans, when they show up to vote, they generally win elections. When they don't, they don't. Right now, we have a situation where a lot of people will just show up to vote against certain personalities. And I think that's driving a lot of people to the ballot box and to make these votes. That's what I witnessed in 2020.
Okay.
I saw people that were my age that had never filled out a ballot in their life.
Adrian, there has been this narrative that has already been built by Donald Trump in a number of his rallies that he has spoken. He's already disputing the elections. He's talking about how paper ballot is what that needs to be brought back into the US elections. He wants swift election results. And keeping in mind that there are so many early voters, postal ballots that have been cast, people have come in early and cast their vote. The probability of the election results being announced by the end of 6th November are slim.
Yeah, that's never going to happen in this day and age. Going back to an older system, the one that we had, I think it was safer. I think there was less room for manipulation, or even the thought of manipulation when you just went in and you pulled down on the levers and closed the curtain behind you. Things have dramatically changed. There's also absentee ballots that go out. I don't know. It has to come down. What needs to be done is there needs to be voter identification. There needs to be simple voter identification. And the problem is we cannot have people questioning our elections. And this is what this has come to. And I think there's reason for people to question the elections right now, especially in this digital age when campaigns have been hacked into. Who's to say these voting systems aren't going to be hacked into, or there isn't manipulation at some point?
Adrian, moving on to the swing states, which are going to be the deciding factor. Now, last time around, Joe Biden ended up winning 6 of those 7 electoral college votes, 6 of those states. Poll predictions, several of them that have put out their results are again leaning towards Kamala Harris. 4 of those 7 states is where Kamala is leading if poll projections were to go by. How do you think the swing states are going to vote?
Great question again. I will just put this out there right now that I do not trust polls, period, especially when it comes to presidential races. They are notoriously bad. And we've seen this just in the recent elections. And then we can go back to when Reagan was supposed to be in a fairly difficult battle with Mondale, and he won every state except for Minnesota. So with that being said, yeah, those swing states are very important. Michigan, Pennsylvania, and when you start to talk about states like Georgia coming into play, North Carolina, and then the smaller states with smaller, I wouldn't say smaller states, but smaller populations, smaller electoral colleges, when there's slim margins, they all of a sudden become more important as well. And those are the states that you would call they're kind of that bluish, pinkish hue right now, and we can't figure out which way they're going to go.
For more such videos, subscribe to the Newsx YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.